Well, after doing the strength assessment, the I guess my top five, the one that was up there was ideation, and I guess whenever I've realized that I have that strength, I actually didn't know it as this term, but it's almost every single time we go to like a professional development activity. I generally tend to end up leading the group with figuring out or doing a lot of the problem solving with the group together. After figuring out, listening to what everything that's going on, and then just being able to make a connection and figure out what the resolution is, like what is the strategy that we should be using for a certain student to get them to understand what we're trying to teach them, or even how to bring groups together to effectively develop lessons, or to effectively develop procedures, and to make sure that everything gets done. I kind of noticed that, I guess, a lot of times when I go to professional development, in fact, my group usually, they'll say, okay, you know what, this was your idea, you do the talking. Sometimes it's a little awkward. I kind of wish that other people would step up and do that, but it's definitely something that I end up doing. The second one was developer, and with developer, seeing the strengths in people just reminds me, I think, of the time that I guess where this came into play the most was actually back when I was 19 years old. I was in training to be an assistant service manager at a local grocery store. I don't want to send any plugs or any name drops or anything, but there was an employee there who was a big guy, okay, and he worked, with the custodial crew, cleaning up, and he was, very frustrated that every single time he tried to move up to being a cashier, they wouldn't give him a chance. And I got to know him. I got to know that he was actually a very brilliant guy. Unfortunately, in his situation, he had some pretty strong body odor, and the managers told me that was one of the big reasons that he couldn't be up front, because of his body odor situation. That it's in like real close proximity to customers, being a cashier. Of course, ethically, I was very upset by that. But as a trainee, to be assistant service manager, you really can't do much. But the time arose where he was discussing that with me, and I said, you know what, I'm going to help this guy out. I'm going to try to, because he's really good at what he does. I mean, he's very smart. And I started telling him, you know what, I said, why don't you show that maybe you take pride in working here. I said, I know that it's tough because you're a custodian, you're always having to clean stuff, sometimes your pants get dirty and stuff like that. I said, but why don't you, during a break, go to the restroom during your 15-minute break, go to a restroom, wet your hair, rebrush it, because you come in dressed looking really nice. I said, but of course during the day and doing all this work, it gets tough to stay like that. But, brush your hair. I said, put on some cologne. I said, make sure that the managers see that you have pride in working for the store, and I believe that you'd be able to move up. And it turns out that the next time they were going up for catch, he did that. He would go. In fact, at lunchtime, he would go home, take a shower, and come back, which is something I didn't tell him to do. But I guess in telling him, hey, show that you have pride in your job, he did that. So he, went home, and he would take a shower at lunchtime, and he came back, and the management's view of him completely changed, and he ended up being a cashier. In fact, he ended up being one of our lead cashiers. And I guess that would be one time where I really felt that I had helped him develop, because I kind of looked past what the other managers were seeing, and I saw that he was skilled and very good, a good candidate for the job.